call that you were on right next. Okay, it was no different from that. So the question I'm asking is, what's stopping you? See, what's stopping you from going out and producing executive vice presidents right now? What's stopping you from going out right now and recruiting, double-digit recruiting? You know, because the techniques are the same. I mean, each and every one of you are AVPs or EVPs on here. So, you know, we've done it before. You know, we know what to do. We know, don't put me coming to teach you the magic question. You know, this is not for the guys that come onto my Saturday class. You know, I'm not going to draw for skills you this morning. Don't worry. You know, don't have to drop off. I'm not going to ask you to recite the introduction script to me right now. Okay. But we've all done it at some point. So now what is it that's stopping you? Why are the Flynnstars not where they should be? Why are your individual base shops not double-digit recruiting regularly? Because you know what to do, but the results are not reflecting upon that. And the only thing I could think about when I was thinking about this last night, because, you know, we've got Milan on here that I know has done almost 70 recruits in a month before. So we've got Barrett on here that's done over 100. He's got the record for doing over 100 recruits in a month. So what has changed? Where is the disconnect? Where is the break in the circuit? Because nothing's changed from those moments in terms of the coaching, the environment, the leadership that we have. They're pretty much a constant, okay? But there's been a disconnect. And the only thing I could really think about when I was going through this last night, when I was saying, what can I come really share with you guys, is I believe it's your belief system. It's your BS. Yeah, your belief system. Somewhere along the line, our belief has been knocked. Somewhere along the line, something's happened where we're not assured anymore. And it's really for us to go and find out how we reconnect with that belief. That you can become financially independent in Genestar. That you can go on to make £100,000 plus in a year. Dare I say, you could go on and make $500,000, 7 figures. Where has that belief gone? Now, some of you will say that potentially some of my belief went with the unfortunate passing of Roger. He was our glue. And whether that's affected you till now, it's still latent in your mind. Some of you might say, Bevin, you know, it's just that I've tried so many different options. I've done everything that everyone has said to say, but it's just not working for me right now. See, some of you may have team members that have given up and gone, and that may have helped with the disconnection. Friends, fellow EVPs that have literally left your business, and that has knocked your belief system. You see, as much as we like to think we're invincible and we're Wonder Woman or Superman, these things do affect you. I mean, and I can tell you, I remember when my very first EVP rolled back. Man, that affected me even more than I thought it did. Because it then goes, wow, what am I doing? Did I make the right decision? Is some, you know, if my very first EVP can roll back, then how do I know all my other EVPs are not going to roll back? You know, is there something that I need to change? Is something I need to do? Is there, you know, how did I let that person down? You see, all these questions remain latent in your mind, and sometimes they have a way of coming to your forefront, especially when things are not going like they should. But ultimately, it comes back down to how steadfast are you in your belief of Genistar? You see, right now, everything else can be taught. I can sit on here and teach you guys for the next year about all the skills, all the products, all that sort of stuff, the scripts. I can drill that into you guys, and you can become well-machined robots on that. But it's until we reconnect to go, is this the vehicle to take me to financial independence? And I believe that with your heart of heart. Are you committed to that belief? You see, one of the things I'm speaking about in my team right now is commitment level and dedication. You see, if you're not committed and dedicated to the cause, you're not going to win big. Now, all of us on here are vice presidents or soon to be vice presidents. Bobby, we're still waiting for you, okay? But we're vice presidents or soon to be. So there's a degree of commitment we've made. There's a degree of dedication that we've made to the cause. Okay. When we became vice president. But now that we're seasoned, now that we've gone to the other side, and we've seen how the whole mechanics of the business works as a full-time vice president, we understand there's a lot more responsibility. And it's a scary world when Genistar is your main income. When Genistar is the main thing you've got is making. We've said, hey, yeah, Jeff, we're giving up our jobs, we're giving up our careers, and we are going full-time with Genistar. And that is a scary place to be. But along that route is also the commitment to why we did that. And sometimes I believe we forget. And that has a knock-on effect with our belief. It has a knock-on effect with our results. Okay? So I want to ask you guys, when you're talking, everybody talks about recruitment. But you see, if you don't 100% believe that so that's Kevin, Anna, Kaz, Barat, Sam, Kevin, Bobby, Milan, Bim, or anybody listening to this recording, if you don't believe that Genistar is the vehicle, if you don't believe you can change somebody's financial future, that person can see right through you. You see, when we're recruiting people, we're recruiting people because we say, we want to help you change your financial future. We want to help you change your financial life. We want to help you move to your next financial level. See, it sounds good in words. But if you don't ultimately really believe that for you, then how are you going to impact the life of that person that's coming on board? The team that you have right now, they're all looking to you. They're looking at every single one of you guys as the leader going, that's who I want to be. Now, they might not say that to your face, but they're looking to you to go, is Kaz living the life that I want? Is Kaz the leader to help me change my financial decision? That's what the team are looking at. That's what the team are aspiring to. And if we haven't or are not developing that culture, you're going to get a lot of people that come into your business and they leave. Or they come into the business and they just sit on the sideline. And they never really move on to fulfill their potential. Reason why I know that is that what's happened to me. When I first became a vice president, I would say things like, man, yeah, we're gonna go win big. You know, we're gonna go do it. We're gonna hit it hard. We're gonna change each of our lives. But then the action wasn't actually with the belief. Did I believe that me, Bevin Wint, could go and make $500,000 in Genestar? And it's a big question. See, the surface answer is absolutely, yeah, I can go do it. Absolutely. Man, I'm going to be the next Joe Ward and make 1.6 million in Genestar a year. But the reality is that I'm still can't get to 100K. And then you ask yourself, am I living in a dream world here? Is this thing even real? Am I even on the right boat, right ship, right? Am I even in the right place? And it begins, and again, it's that starts here that automatically begins to now manifest itself in your body language, how you sound, how you look, how you walk, how you talk, how you communicate with the rest of the team. And it has a huge impact on your recruitment because your words don't sound as convicted anymore. So my question is, where is your disconnect? Where did your disconnect start? And if some of you are going, I haven't got a disconnect, then I need to see that through your results. Because if you're telling me, no, baby, I'm all into listen, I'm all in. I'm Genestar all in. Okay, so if the disconnect isn't there, then there shouldn't be a drop in your results. It's very simple. It's a circuit that we're in. So if it's not your belief, then it's going to be your activity. Yeah, because it's your belief, your activity that leads to results. So if you're telling me, Bevin, now my belief is strong, I get this. Listen, you know, I've been here from day one. You know, I know I'm going to make a 6-7 figure income in Genestar. Okay, great. Then it might not be your belief that's the challenge. Then it's simply going to become down to activity. And if it comes down to activity, it still goes back to your belief. Because if you were doing it, if you believed and had that belief system there, your activity would be off the charts. You'll be doing more scoots, more carry backs, more interviews than you would ever be doing because your belief is in the right place. So even if you say I am connected, I'll look at your activity, and if you're only doing 2, 3, 5 phone calls a day, I would now begin to question your belief. You believe in something social and you're only speaking to 2 people a day. Or you can't get 3 yeses. And you really believe in this. So again, it goes back to your level of your belief. The level of your belief is so powerful. I've seen I've seen most of you speak, and I've seen you at the peak of your powers. And you sound different. You look different. I've heard when you guys are, when the belief is high when results are high. I've seen it. When you guys are hitting the comma club. I've seen at conventions where Barrett's constantly on a treadmill running down to go and collect awards. I never forget that night. He was just blowing past me all night, going to collect awards at convention. His belief at that point had never been higher in a company. I've seen how Kaz speaks at different conference calls the week after she hits the Comma Club. Like, it's like it's a new person that's speaking because the belief is high. See, results are a direct impact from the level of your belief. But at some point, if I was to look at each and every one of your numbers right now, if I was being fair, I would say there's an inconsistency. Some weeks were good, many weeks were bad. This is the reality. Yeah. It's just what I see. Okay. And I know that's a direct result in there's something that's been disconnected. Something's got into your mind. Something's playing to say, you know, is this it? Am I, you know, there's something there that you, and only you know what that is. So I encourage you all to really go and identify that what is. I mean, I remember speaking to Kevin at the last convention, and he was like, Bev, man, you know, Bev, I'm giving this 6 more months, you know, I'm giving this 6 more months. Well, Kev, you're still here, so I'm thinking that we've extended that now, okay? But, you know, there's something that, there's a decision that we need to make. There's a decision that we need to, we need to put in place so we can start to grow and grow how we should be growing. So if I then speak about activity as I moved on to, you see, once our belief is in the right place, then your activity won't be a problem. Because you'll believe in your heart of hearts that I'm in the right place at the right time. People will see that when you speak to them. People will want to book appointments with you. People will, because you are what you attract. So they'll look at Anna and go, that church will look at Anna and go, yeah, this is a woman that can help the church get out of financial bondage. Even though she said she nailed that 30-minute presentation, most of them didn't hear past the first 5 minutes, because you know how the brain works already. Most people could disconnected after the first 5 minutes, and that's no disrespect to Anna. That's just how it is. But they would have seen a confidence. They would have seen a belief. They would have seen, hey, here's somebody that really wants to help the church get out. See, recruitment is all about mindset. So once that person believes that you are the person to help them, they're going to join your business. Doesn't really even matter what the IBA fee is, really, because it's about them seeing the value of what's on, what they're going to get from this. See, there's no magic pill for recruitment. I wish I could tell you that go to this postcode and all these people will join. In fact, I would have been there before you guys, so maybe I wouldn't. Maybe you'll catch me down there. There isn't one of those there. But it's getting your mindset and your belief in the right place, so you can go and recruit. So when you're speaking, in your tone, everything changes. See, there's a reason why Barrett did the 100 over 100 recruits. I remember very, very clearly. He was at, I think he was at like 80 something. I remember, and we only had like a few days left, and everybody went to Barrett. Are you going to hit the 100? Are you going to hit the 100? Now, I knew the 100 would be hit. Reason being, it's because there's a wave of momentum there. There's a wave of belief. Everyone's just jumping onto this fast-moving train. So Barrett just needed to blow on people, and they would join the business. That's all he needed to have done at that point, because the level was so high. His belief was so high. All he needed to go is, hey guys, we've had another 80 people that's joined this month. So either you're in or out, but we're on our way to the top. That's what he needed to say. People go, I'm in, because the belief level is high. Now it's more difficult when you got 1 or a 0.25 that's just joined the team. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, belief level's high. Yeah, going for a tough time right now. it's a completely different tool. But obviously we need to start from where we stand. Yeah. So my real advice to you guys, or real coaching to give you guys, is just really reconnect. Really find out if GeneStar is the vehicle and make it a priority. Too many times in my team, they tell me that, yeah, I want to do GeneStar, but it's not a priority. Everything else, including washing their cat, comes before joining GeneStar or doing appointment or speaking to people. You've got to put it right up there as a priority. It's got to be right up there with you looking after your children, okay, and serving God. Yeah, it's got to be right up there in that place, right there. You know, it can't be, you know, I'll do it after I've hoovered the stairs or put out the rubbish. See, if you want to win big and you want to inspire others, you want to create impact, then it can't be a second thought. It can't be something that we do on a full-time but part-time basis. It can't be something that we're ashamed to speak about. We can't afford to miss moments and opportunities to speak to people about GeneStar. Kev, I'm so glad Tom was there to recruit that person for you. That's why teamwork makes the dream work, right? Because he was able to quickly to go in and go, hey, are we ready to sign up now? See, that's what teamwork's about. And I'm sure you will do that for somebody else one day because that happened to you. But we can't afford to miss opportunity. If we're in this together, if we're in this to build and create a legacy and have all the great stuff that Jerry and Steve were talking about last night, and the share price and GeneStar going to, you know, international, and everyone needs to be singing off the same hymn sheet. We need committed, dedicated individuals. Now, is it easy? Well, no one ever told you that GeneStar is easy. And if they did, they were telling pork pies. GeneStar is not easy. Okay? But it's the easiest hard work you ever have to do. Yes, there's times where you're going to feel, is it worth it? And that's okay. I feel like I've had multiple times feeling like that, and they're still regular. But what everything goes back down to is, do I believe I can win in this? Do I believe I can change the lives of the people in my team and those to come? Do I believe we're in the right vehicle to make this happen? And I certainly believe that can happen, or I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't still be doing this if I didn't believe that we can have massive impact in the UK and beyond. And I want each and every one of you to ask the question to yourself: do I really believe that I can win here? Am I really committed to make this happen? See, if you ask yourself those questions and the answer is yes, then recruitment, seeing people, scoops, carrybacks, even when clawbacks happen, yes, they do happen. We're all very aware of that. Those will just be seen as a part of the process to something bigger. A part of the process. It doesn't define the process, but it's a part of the process. And it's a complete different mind shift. So that's really, I hope that's helped you guys today. I hope that's really began to question, you know, where you're thinking about stuff. And I'm happy to, you know, ask questions if you guys ask some questions on this. But it's a big deal, and I believe when we get this right, not if, but when we get this right, you're going to see your individual numbers increase, which means that the hierarchy just explodes. So yeah, I'm willing to back over to you, Anna. I'm willing to take any kind of questions, anything like that.
Yeah, I really like what you've said, Bevin. It's like you've really drilled down, you've thought about us. And, you know, I really appreciate that. And I think that possibly in all reality, if any of us have probably sat down for any length of time and been thinking about where we're actually at, then we probably have come to this conclusion ourselves, but it's not actually been verbalized. And I think that, you know, it does come down to activity, it does come down to belief. And I think that, you know, as you were talking, what I felt, you know, within myself was this kind of like, well, all I can really describe it as being like a roar. And it's like you've got to just allow that to take its course, because you can think yourself around all those topics, the belief and the activity. You can spend time thinking around each of those topics, but what it actually comes to, I think, is that sort of what actually is within each one of us. And you can call it belief, but it's got to be the passion of what we're doing, really. And I think that the change, and you know, this really is my question to you, because you've said you've been there yourself, but at that point of questioning and thinking around those two issues, when you've drilled right down and you know, you're really at that point of decision, you know, like on that tightrope of elastic band almost, and you stood on it, and it's like, well, what's going to happen? Am I going to quit, or am I actually going to do the thing that's going to change everything? You know, I think that's where you hear it called the stars are aligned, or whatever, you know. And I think, I mean, if you know, you've coached us and you've inspired us, but perhaps my question to you is, what has been your experience? And you've probably been in that place many times, as you've said, but that point at which you're on that very tightly drawn place where, you know, it's in the balance. What has made the difference to you? What has made that change? What you know, that's it. I don't know.
Okay, I get where you're going. So I love that analogy. So think about this. So we're all at this place. We're getting to this place right now. Okay. We're all on that tightrope. We're all in that moment right now where we got to make that decision. We're at that crossroad. It's either a yes or no moment. It's either a right or left moment. It's a go front or back. What do I do? And in that moment, you're in that moment, and you need to make that moment, and then you just stand still and you do nothing. You don't go back. You don't go forward. You don't go left. You don't go right. We freeze. We freeze. And the key thing about that is making a decision. Don't freeze. Don't get stuck. If whatever you're gonna go do, go make that decision. Do not just freeze and stand still. Now, the decision that you make, hey, we would have to live and die by the consequences of those decisions. But don't just stand still. Don't just say, hey, I can go left, I can go right, I can go off, I can go on, I can make a decision. Because that will unlock a different level, a different door. Too many times I see people get to that point, get there, and they go, freeze. Steve Jenkins has a great story about this. He may be a bit more fun, but Steve Jenkins talks about the hedgehog. And he goes, the hedgehog, the reason why most hedgehogs die is because they cross the road, they see a car coming, but then they stop and look at the lights. Now, if the hedgehog was either to go back or was to go forward, that hedgehog would still be alive. But it's because they stay there why they get hit buy the car. Don't be the hedgehog. Have that spirit of boldness, assertiveness, that decision to go, this is what I'm going to go do. We'll work out what the consequences happen afterwards. I was there when I decided that I was going to leave medicine. You see, that decision was not easy. When I decided that I'm no longer going to practice medicine and I had to go tell a whole room of family that, hey, this thing I was studying for 7 years, I've kicked it to the bin because I'm going to go do some finance thing. Hey, I could have just stood still, did Genistar part-time, still did medicine. And hey, I would have probably been okay, probably been a team leader right now. Probably would have been striking with them up in Westminster, you know, and that's the life I would have had right now. But I decided to make a decision to change. You see, that is where we all are, and sometimes the decisions are tough. You've all made a decision to go with Genistar full time. You've been there before, to lose the security of a job or a business that you knew was vibrant. But it's to continue to make those, and it's not always going to be career defining or life defining decisions, but sometimes it's in the smaller things. But make that decision. No, don't have any regrets. You see, a regret, people confuse what regrets are. Regrets are when you know you should have done something, but you didn't do it. I know I shouldn't have gone out tonight. I said I didn't want to go out tonight. You know, I didn't want to go out tonight. I said I'm going to stay home and watch the Man United match, which may have been a regret anyway, but I want to stay home and watch the match tonight. But yet still, I was forced out and I had an accident. That's now I can regret. Now, if I wanted to go out tonight, if I was excited about going out tonight and I had an accident, then it can't be a regret because I wanted to. You don't want to have any regrets. So, Anna, make that decision. When you're in that moment, that decision's only for you at that stage. Make that decision. Whether it's left or right, yes or no, make it. Don't just stand still, make it, and then we'll unlock a whole new level, a whole new door that we can deal with after that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely great. I think other will have question as well. Normally we see only like say 100 meters, but to see a mile, you need to probably understand the bigger picture of to see the destination, in fact, rather than just a miles. Is normally in the business it happens, in the job it doesn't. In terms of Genistar, I think you have got a mindset from the beginning, as far as I can see and know, that you have got a mindset of paradigm shift, that I'm gonna make a bigger impact. Probably I'm gonna be successful as in the medicine. We talk about the expansion of different countries, expansion in South Africa, and the bigger productions in the company line productions in the UK as well. Could you just a little bit elaborate, sir, about how the company is gonna be here, and how it it's a not a prediction, but it's just in the process. So what do you see from your eyes that the company level in the country and outside? Could you just a bit elaborate so that we can understand at the bigger picture, sir?
Okay, well, great question. So what do I see? So I mean, and this is what I see, right? So I don't, you guys might not see this, but this is what I see. So but there's a caveat, and I'll speak about the caveat afterwards. So what I see is an incredibly huge company, a company that is gonna not only expand fully in the UK but go abroad as well. But I also see a company making social significance across the world by educating families, helping people to understand the rules of the money game, whatever country they're in. Where we've got genuine people inside our company that want to help people to achieve that. I see a company that offers hope and opportunity to all and not just to some. I see a company that's going to make people wealthy and financially independent. A company of integrity, ethics, non-judgmental. A company that we'll be proud to be a part of. You see, I see Genistar as those things what I've just said to you. But the caveat to this, Barrett, and fellow EVPs, is that's a culture we have to create. I can't do it by myself. Steve Jenkins can't do it by himself. That's a company that we all want to see, or similar. That's a company that we all need to live and breathe for. You see, that company is, people would say that's utopic. Man, Bevin, what you smoking? I mean, what company's going to be like that? And hey, listen, it's my vision, right? So I can afford to have that. Now, am I going to say we're going to be a perfect company? Well, there is no perfect company. There are going to be people in there, inside that company, that may not have similar values to what I've just said. But the overall company is what I describe. And that's what we need to build. I'm excited but anxious at the same time, Barrett, because I don't know about you, but I've never been in a company where I can help to build and shape the culture of how that company will be in years to come. I don't know about, so, and that's what we all have here. And that's why it feels so difficult because, I'm coming from, the NHS. I used to work for John Lewis. These institutions were formed many, many decades before I even got involved in them. Here we are with a company where we can form it, form the culture, form the environment, form the ethics. And we're like, okay, how do we do this? We're going to make mistakes the way.
I have a question about them.
Yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
I think that you were so on the money this morning that it's just my view of it. Like, and I know that some people may not be massively into sports, but there's a really strong analogies going through my mind about what you said. And, they're close to your heart because of your hobbies and just your support for Man United versus Liverpool. And Eric Ten Hag did something, the manager of Man United, over a short period of time to turn a toxic environment into a winning mentality with pretty much the same group of players. And, Liverpool have kind of gone the opposite way a little bit. Yes, some of the players are 18 and maybe don't have the ability that we have at Genistar. But the consistency is that which, massively have let Liverpool down, because you can go and, like, this is not a stab at you, by the way, but beat a very, very good team 7-0 and then go out and lose. And that's what's happening, the Flynnstar hierarchy. That's what's happening in my business, that I can go and ace it one day, 1 week. And it's the lack of consistency. It's the lack of belief. And the last sporting analogy I'll use before I ask you the question is the belief that's in the Irish rugby team. They went out on Saturday and they played an England team that had been battered the week before. And that England team put everything on the line. In the analogy with Genistar, they give Ireland clawbacks. They gave them those. They battered. England actually battered Ireland in the first 20 minutes to a half hour, but Ireland had that belief, that momentum that Bevin's got in his team right now. That they knew they could see past that Bevin is producing EVPs after EVPs after EVPs, and they just knew they could see the finish line, and nothing was going to stand in their way. It was a very good, well-motivated, well-driven England side, but their day, their destiny was there. They knew, we knew, because I'm Irish, that nothing was going to stop them. And I feel those analogies are very strong with Janistar. My question is, Bevin, in your opinion, what is it? I know that belief needs to come from within. Eric Ten Hag did something with Man United. Don't know whether you can hear me now. Can you hear me, Brad?
Yes, now.
Yeah. Eric Ten Hag, the manager of Man United, was able to facilitate something, was able to help those players ask the right questions of themselves. And the same with the Irish rugby team. They got every question thrown at them on Saturday. They found the answers and they found the belief within them. But what is it, do you feel, looking at us and our team, what is it do you think is going to make the difference to help enable us to, and I know it needs to come from within. I know we got to believe, we've got to, and the belief then engenders the results engenders the belief, and so on and so on. But what helped pick up a very toxic environment in Man United and a very talented team that were on the floor? What, in your opinion, helped them that can help us, Bevin?
Thank you, Kevin. And you had to mention the 7-0. It's okay.
It wasn't a barb. It wasn't.
I've had counting for it. It's fine. I was in South Africa with Mark Ketchick and Arvin Burgers and Steve Jenkins, all watching the game at the pub. Suffice to say, I left the pub after 4-0 because I had a team meeting with Joyce. I'm joking, but anyway, it was great. But there's a couple of things, and here's my view to that. Right, the Ireland rugby team, that their mindset was incredible. But if I take you back further, in the previous Six Nations, they were nowhere where they were on Saturday. Eric Ten Hag, which you're talking, and so for those of you not football fans, okay, what he had to do is he had to make tough decisions, and this is where I want the Flynnstars and the company to start thinking about. Part of the reason my big thing this year is about commitment is that I need to know who I'm working with. I've called up several executive vice presidents and I've said to them, what are you doing? I need to know who is in the Janistar corner. I know IT's messing up. I know commissions have messed up. I know the FSC is not as efficient as it should be. I know that, you get peed off by Mark and Jeff sometimes and whoever that is. But that cannot be part of, that is part of the process of where we're going. It cannot be the be all end all. When I've said, are you in this? Can I rely on you? Just like how you can rely on me. Are we in the same boat here? Are we fighting the same fight? Are you on the front line like me? You see, if we can't identify who's in the fight with us, then we're going into that fight and we're going to lose. We need to be able to identify, Kaz, are you in this? Kevin, are you in? Like, listen, I know things are not there for you right now, but are you in? Can I rely on you? Are we in this battle together? Will you watch my back when I'm running into battle? Or are you going to be too busy doing something else? Because if I can't identify that you're with me on this, then I can't work with you in the way I want to work with you. Now, that doesn't mean I won't like you or might not call you or might not, speak to you from time to time. But I know when I'm going in, are you there? one of the things Erik ten Hag did, he got rid of the deadwood. He got rid of, for me, one of the greatest footballers ever in Cristiano Ronaldo. Someone that was our top scorer last year. Someone that has, you know, the most goals in since football started, allegedly. A big ego, brings lots of money to the club, but he wasn't in it for the club. Even though his mouth said it, his actions didn't. And I'm sure the Irish rugby squad got rid of some of those older players or some other players that just wasn't in it. You see, sometimes there has to be a cull. Sometimes we need to cut back the branches. Now I sound like Kevin when he's preaching on a Sunday. But sometimes you've got to cut back the branches for new growth to happen. And sometimes we hang on. We hang on to some of these old branches, thinking that will give us new fruit. And it won't. And if the fruit it does produce, it's going to be bad. So the question really, Kev, is, you know, really for us to, first of all, identify who we're working with. Is this Flynnstars team here really all in? Are you guys really all in for the cause? And again, make that decision. And hey, listen, sorry if I'm speaking out of turn here, but if you're not, just have a chat with Anna, have a chat. Just say, guys, you know what? I'm not really in. I've got so many other things I'm doing right now. I can't commit to what I've got to do right now. Genistar is not going to be the place, but don't just freeze. Make a decision, yes or no, and then we'll learn from the consequences that come from that. That's how we're going to get clarity. Now, once you've identified the winning team, the mastermind circle, then we can now be able to do that in our individual teams. Then we can go into our teams and go, hey guys, who's in my leadership circle? Now it's a bit different when you're dealing with part-timers, because but you've got some of your part-timers that want to be full-timers. So you treat them different. You put them in a different group. You treat them as your inner circle. The others, hey, they go into the group, you still love on them. You praise them when they do something, when they do their 1 scoop a week or their 1 scoop a month or their 1 scoop a year, you still celebrate it, okay? Like it was the best thing since sliced bread. But you want clarity. It's clarity that the Irish team got. Yes, England played phenomenally well, but England are like Genistar right now, where we've just kind of lost our way a little bit. We need to, I do follow rugby, so you can see there's been change of captains recently and that whole thing with Owen Farrell and all of that, Kevin. So sorry if I've gone down a different route with you guys. But England are going through that different phase right now where they're trying to work out who they are again. They've just got rid of their coach and, they're moving forward with that. Ireland have been settled now. They made those decisions earlier on. They've come into those championships, okay, and they knew what they were about. And even though England, for periods, did play better than them, I just had a feeling throughout the whole game that Ireland was going to win. A bit like the previous week when France just absolutely annihilated England. You just had that feeling coming through the television screen that no matter what England did, they were never going to win. And I think that's where Genistar right now, we need to get to that Ireland stage. At the moment, Arsenal have a little bit of that feeling right now with those Arsenal fans in here where they feel like, hey, it's inevitable that we're going to win the league. There's an energy or even Man City between one of them. But there's an inevitability about that right now. And I think Genistar as a whole, we've kind of lost that. We've kind of lost that inevitability that we're going to do this. We're going to win. Come May, we're all in. It's going to happen. We're going to become the Prime America of the UK or the whatever Jeff wants to call us, the vitality of the UK, whatever he wants to call us, but we're going to become that company that changes people's lives. And I believe as a company, we need to trim back, have a look at who's really committed to the cause, have a look at who's really going about getting it done, and then everything from there will lead to us being a huge success. So again, that is my interpretation of that, Kevin. I hope that answered your question.
It does, Bevin, and I think clarity of vision is what Gareth Morgan talks about, and I'm sure I'm very inspired, but not from a point of view of watching a good YouTube video. I'd love if you come and talk. Mayo, who've lost 9 All-Ireland finals, because the basics in sport, sorry for people that might not be as much into sport, it's easy to see the results, and I think are completely transferable into business. So I do apologize if there are people that maybe don't catch what Bevin is saying today, but I do, Bevin, and I know there's no perfect solution. Eric Ten Hag went into an absolute nightmare, and I don't even know the guy, but you could say he's working with a talented bunch of players. So is Jennistar, so is Jeff Letts. You could say that these guys are well paid, so are we. Whenever we get off our backside and actually do some business, and the environment and the culture is so huge, and what appeared to be a very complex problem, and in some ways it was. He made some very simple, straightforward decisions, and that call to action. But who's on my team? Looking in the whites of people's eyes. It's not an easy job that we've got as leaders, guys. But that's why we're on 110 to 115% commission. And Bevin, you have done an amazing job. I think certainly you've stirred something up in me that really is a call to action. Like, let's get out in the middle of the road. We will get creamed. We will get killed there. Let's go forward, hopefully. But if we need to go back, to take 10 steps forward, because actually that's what Man United did. And you're right about the Irish rugby team. We were unfulfilled potential for many years. We're a small country. In Jennistar, we're a small band of really talented individuals. The people on the call now and a few others, I would call my foxhole buddies. Let's take the absolute tragedy of losing Roger and losing John Flynn and use it to our benefit, guys. That's what every good team of people do. They do it not to use these great men and as an excuse, but use it as a reason to be great. It's there for us. Back over to you, Bev.
No, I mean, it's back over to Anna. I mean, I know I've taken up more of your time today. I probably, I kind of chat, me. I'm always going on and stuff. I hope you guys have got where I'm coming from on this. And yeah, it's been a real privilege to speak to you all today. And I'm excited. I'm happy to, call you guys family. I'm happy to be building. I know it's not always rosy, but honestly, I know we're going to look back at this period of time and really appreciate the time that we're in, and I'm be really grateful for the impact we'll have for future generations. So thank you guys all so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bevin. And do you know what I feel like you've just done? I feel like you've just done a little bit of surgery on us, Bevin. I think that this year and a half, I think that at different times we've sort of had the surgery done on us, and it's a weird one, but I think that there's probably some of us here that probably on that journey have frozen along the way. Really that moment at which I decided to step into Roger's shoes, it was like I am now. Through tears and like the blood, the sweat, let's do it. But I think that what can happen is that we can sort of get distracted by things, and whether that's this little bit of sand in the cogs is irritating me or whatever, but to be able to go back to why we're doing it, and then just do that, keep moving. If we've made our decision, then we just got to keep moving. So
100%. And listen, this group here is a special group of people, as Kevin said. So listen, when you're in that moment and you're not, and you feel like you're gonna freeze, pick up the phone, call one of your, call, you know who you can call. You can call me if you want to. Doesn't really matter, but call, because sometimes you just need that voice to say, you know what, you are doing the right thing. Yeah, everybody else might think, oh, you're crazy. But sometimes call this group here that are on the same journey as you. Some of you are a little bit further on than others, okay? But make sure you utilize, as Kevin said, his foxhole buddies, okay? Make sure you say, listen, this is where I am right now. Listen, this is where my thoughts are. And sometimes it's just a listening ear they need. Sometimes it's a one word. But make sure we utilize this, what we have going on here, because it's more powerful than what you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. And, you know, keep moving. Pick up the phone.
Absolutely.
Love you guys. And keep going. See
Thank
you
you, team. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you all.
soon, Bevin.
Thank you, Bevin, sir. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Bevin. That was absolutely
Thank you,
brilliant.
guys.
Cheers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a great
God
week
bless
ahead.
us all.
See
Have
you
a
guys.
Thank you.
awesome week.